Hey everybody, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about bonds, interest rates. We'll talk about the bond market, the money market. So there's a lot going on, but it's all on the subject of kind of the economy and how they work, how it works. The first bit here will be more of a finance, a little bit of TVM, but not too heavy on the TVM. So before we even get into bonds, I want to talk about something called compound interest. So when you save money, when you invest money, when you borrow money, obviously you pay interest or you earn interest. And there's two types of interest. You have simple interest, which is interest that is calculated based on some principal amount or your initial investment, where there is no compounding. Your interest is based only on the initial amount. And then there's compound interest, where interest actually accumulates on itself, right? And that's what compounding means, where interest is accumulating on itself. The formula that you have here is a formula you'll want to memorize, and it's how you calculate a future value based on a present value. So what does that mean, future and present value? Now, those of you who are doing a finance class at the same time, like this is super basic for you, but if not, look, this is time. The present value is an amount today, and the future value is some amount in the future. So, if you were to put, and I'll give you the example here, if you took $600 and invested it today, that would be a present value. How much will you have in 7 years if you earn a rate of 9%? Well, you can figure that out, right? So how much will this become after 7 years if you just follow this formula? 600 is your present value, 1 plus your rate, in this case 9%, and n, that's the number of years, or that's the number of periods. In this class, we don't really deal with things like semi-annual and quarterly. It's really basic. So we're pretty much always working in years. So you have 1,096.82. This is how much your $600 would grow into if you were to invest it at a rate of 9% per year for 7 years. Simple enough? Okay. So a bond. What is a bond? A bond is an investment that is typically used to save money. It's a loan from an investor to a company, or from an investor to a government, or in exchange, the entity, the government, or the company that you are lending the money to will pay you interest, and then will give you back your money after a certain amount of time. So it is a form of savings. And later on, when we get into the bond market versus the money market, we're going to start using bonds and savings kind of interchangeably for a little bit. But let me just explain to you how a bond works. A bond has a face value. So when you look at, let's say a timeline, okay? And let's say this is a 3-year bond. The face value is the amount that you will receive at the end. If you invest in a bond, if you save your money by putting it into a bond, the face value is the amount that you will receive at the end. It's typically 1,000. It could be anything. You also have coupon payments. This is the interest. This is what we call the interest that you earn. So in that time, maybe you'll earn $50 of interest every year. So by putting your money, by saving it in this bond, similar to how you would put it in a savings account, and that savings account would pay you interest, a bond is really not that different. You put your money into this bond, the bond will pay you $50 of interest each year, and then will pay you back 1,000 at the end. Maturity is just what we call the day that it matures, and the yield to maturity, this is your return. This is your actual return on investment. So if I say that this bond has a yield of 8%, it means that if you invest your money in this bond, you will earn an 8% return on your money. So the coupon payment is based on something called the coupon rate. So let's say in this case, my coupon rate is 5%. This would be stated in the question, but basically one formula that you should know is if you take the face value times the coupon rate, you get the coupon payment. So if you have 1,000 as your face value, your coupon rate is 5%. That is how you would calculate that $50 every year. So think of the coupon rate as just the interest that you get paid each year. That's it. And what I care more about is that you understand the relationship between the coupon rate and the yield. Okay, so this is definitely important. You want to know there's three types of bonds. When the coupon rate stated is higher than the yield, the bond is a premium bond, which means the price that you would pay to buy it is actually more than the face value. So for example, imagine this were your bond, but you had to pay $1,100 at the start. So you would have to give $1,100, and in exchange you would get $50 each year, and you would get $1,000 at the end. That's what a premium bond looks like. You're like, it feels like you're overpaying for the bond. You're not, but it feels that way. And then you have a discount bond. This is where the price you pay is less than the face value. So imagine you were able to buy this bond for $900. And that is because the coupon rate is less than the yield. When the coupon rate is less than the yield, you actually get a discount on it. So you get to pay $900, even though the bond will return to you $1,000 at the end. And when they're equal, when the coupon rate is equal to the yield, then the investor would actually pay exactly, this is called being at par, would pay exactly the face value. So you give $1,000 at the beginning and you get $1,000 at the end. Okay? You should know this conceptually. Again, this class doesn't really go that deep into calculating the price of a bond. We will see it in certain cases, but you won't be asked to calculate like the price of a coupon paying bond the way you would in finance. This is more of an econ class than it is a finance class. So here's a special type of bond. Now this one is basic enough that you may be asked it because the formula is so small. This is a console. A console is a bond that pays forever. Imagine lending money to somebody and that person never had to pay you back, but they have to pay you interest forever. So it's almost like a hybrid of a bond and a stock. It's still technically debt. It's classified as debt, but it never matures. The formula to calculate the price, memorize it, is the coupon divided by the yield or divided by the rate. Those of you who have done TVM before, this is a perpetuity. And then zero coupon bonds, these are also bonds that just don't pay a coupon. So imagine you loaned money to somebody and they have to pay you back at the end, but they don't pay any periodic interest. So I want to show you guys how to deal with these things. So we'll start with exercise number 2. What is the price of a console? Okay, so that's a perpetual bond with a face value of 1,000, a coupon rate of 8, and a yield of 10. So since the price is the coupon divided by the rate, and the coupon I just showed you guys was the face value times the coupon rate, so the numerator would be $80, and the yield is 10%. So if you do the math on this, it's $800. The price of this bond, if you wanted to buy it today, would be $800. You pay $800 and you will receive these coupon payments perpetually forever. Okay. Now, is this bond a premium bond or a discount bond? Think about that for a moment. If I asked you that question on an exam, well, look at the coupon rate and look at the yield. Because the coupon rate is less than the yield to maturity, this bond sells at a discount. And you could actually see that from the price as well. Look, the price you found was less than the face value. I want you guys to just, when you're reading a question, I want that to jump out at you. Because when I read it, I knew, before even doing my math, I knew that my answer had to be less than 1,000. Just based on the fact that the coupon rate was less than the yield, I knew my answer had to be less than 1,000. So if I misclicked on my calculator or I did something wrong and I got a number that was more than 1,000, I knew right away that it was wrong. Okay. Let's do another one, but this time a zero coupon bond. Now, a zero coupon bond, the way that you calculate its value is by using this formula. And this is why I wanted to show you this first. You used a basic present value here. So let's go here. Determine the price of a zero coupon bond that has a face value of 2,000 and a yield of 8. What I forgot to say that is maturing in 4 years. Okay, that should have been in the question. So the way this works, before we even do the math, try and imagine this. For 4 years, you will receive nothing for your investment, but at the end, you'll get 2,000. And the question is, how much would you have to invest today? AKA, what is the present value? So if this is the future value formula, Well, you can still use it, but this is your future value. So it would be 2000, that's your future value, equals something multiplied by 1 plus the rate, which in this case is 8% to the 4. And then you just basically divide by this. So if I did, so essentially it looks like this, 2000 divided by 1.08 to the 4, that would be your present value. 1470 and 6 cents. Okay, so for those of you that don't mind a bunch of formulas, you could memorize two separate ones. You can say, well, you know, future value is present value multiplied by 1 plus r to the n, and present value is future value divided by 1 plus r to the n. But they're really the exact same formula rearranged. It's up to you. So this is the price of the bond. This means that you would have to invest 1470 today, and you would get back 2000 at the end. Using the exact same formula, we could find the yield. Look, if I ask you to find the yield, you're solving for R. So face value 1000, that's your future value, right? The face value is the future value because that's what you're going to receive at the end. And the price today is 473. So you would have to pay 473 today. It's maturing in 9 years, so this is in 9 years. And I'm asking you for the rate. Okay. So we know that future value equals present value multiplied by 1 plus r to the n. If the future value is 1000, the present value is 473.35. The rate is what I'm looking for, and n is 9. You just have to do the algebra. So here would be divide both sides by 473.35. That would get rid of that. Then put this side to the power 1 over 9 to get rid of the exponent. And then subtract 1 to get rid of that. So when you punch that all into your calculator, you get a rate of about 0.0867. So if you multiply that by 100, it'd be 8.67%. And what we just calculated is your return on investment. If you were to buy this bond for 473, keep it for 9 years, and then sell it for 1000, you would have earned an 8.67% return on your investment each year. That's your annual return if you keep the bond until maturity. Okay. Now, the next thing to go over is how do you calculate returns on investment? And you can apply this to bonds. You can apply this to really any investment. A return on investment is really just the amount of money you made or lost as a percentage of the money you invested. So if I said, for example, you had a 10% return on your investment, it means that your profit was 10% of what you invested, right? That's pretty logical. But we're going to expand on it a little bit. Total return is this formula right here. But you have smaller types of returns. One is called the income yield. One is called the capital gain yield. And actually, if you add these two together, you get this one. So before we get into that, you have to understand what is income versus what is a capital gain. When you buy an asset, like a bond or like a building, you can use the asset to generate revenue. For example, a bond will pay you interest every year. We just talked about this. It pays you that coupon. If you own a building, that building will pay you rent every year. If you own a stock, the stock will pay you dividends every year. Any revenue that you generate from owning an asset is called income. And the income yield is all about that. It measures how much of a return you're earning from the revenue component of your investment. A capital gain is when the value of the investment goes up or down. So that building that you bought, let's say you bought it for $500,000 last year and today it's worth $600,000. That $100,000 of increase in value would be called a capital gain. It has nothing to do with the rent. It has only to do with the value of the asset. And when you put the two together, you get your total return on investment. The last formula you see here is called a real rate. We'll talk about that. That's when we start to involve inflation. So I want to show you guys how to do this. We're going to use this question. So question number 6, you purchased a bond last year for $8.94. So the price that you pay to buy something is called P0. That's the purchase price. You sold the bond today for $1,230.